All right, this genetics problem implies something called epistasis. And epistasis is when one gene influences or affects another. It actually will kind of work as a switch to either turn on or turn off the other gene. So keep in mind, a gene is two alleles, right? Two alleles equals a gene. All right. All right, so let's look at how this works. So for mice, the allele C produces color. It allows color to be produced in the mice fur. The allele little c is recessive, and it's going to then if you have two little c's, you'd have an albino. Okay, so without the big C present, you're not going to produce color. You have to have at least one dominant C allele. Now, the other gene is this big B, little b, right? And this, another allele, big B, causes the activation of a pigment which produces black color in the mice. That may occur depending on what's going on with the presence or absence of the dominant C allele. And then, of course, you have a recessive version of that, little b, and that causes incomplete activation of the pigment, so you get a brown color mouse. The alleles big C and big B, so the C and B alleles are on separate chromosomes, determine the F1 generation of a cross from this. All right, so you would expect a 9:3 to 3:1 outcome, but that's not what you get. Okay, so you would do the Punnett square as normal, but your analysis has to be completely different because the phenotypes are not going to be what you expect, because C is going to influence or affect what's going on at B with the B genes. So if you think about this, if there is a big C, and who cares what the other one is, as long as you have one dominant big C, then sure, you can have the expression of color. So, and that expression of color will then be dictated by the B alleles. So this would be a black mouse, black fur mouse, and this would be a brown fur mouse. This would be albino, because you need this dominant allele to allow for this pigmentation to be formed. Okay? So as long as you have one big dominant C allele, you will then have the expression of the pigmentation produced by the B alleles. Okay, so here is what it looks like. So here's your 9:3 to 3:1, but it's not 9:3 to 3:1. It's not. So as long as you have a dominant C, you will get whatever color. So in this case, dark brown or black, I should say, black, right? Black. And here you have the dominant C and two little b, so we're allowed to produce B, or brown. If you have two little C's, you are lacking the allele to produce the activator protein to allow the B gene to be produced. So you're going to get albino, regardless of what your B alleles are. And so you really only get 3 colors. And B is not fully expressed unless the dominant C allele is expressed.